Hello, business owners and my fellow citizens and my customers. This is Daryl Guberman. I'm the CEO of Guberman-PMC, LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. I have assisted companies in manufacturing and quality and also assisted in ISO certification, all derivatives. And we base our business on the 24/7 rule. I've had companies and customers call me on a Saturday and a Sunday, and I contact them. I get up and pick up the phone and we talk. And that is the way you build business. Unlike an ANSI-ASQ-ANAB registrar, we have dealt with that in industry. My background is aerospace, medical implants, medical materials, printing, and plastic distribution, where we dealt with every facet of industry, aerospace, automotive, electronics, you name it, we did it. And we bit our teeth and we ground our teeth down on those industries. Today we have a very special guest. We have a Mr. Dave Viola, Chief Executive of the IAMPO. It's a IAPMO, the International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials. And here's Dave Viola. Now, he took over from Russ Chaney. Russ Chaney, in 2019, after I exposed an impropriety inside the realm of laboratory certification. You'll see this very shortly. Mr. Viola, Dave, I want to ask you, is your mantra or is your mission statement the same one as Russ Chaney professes? Because you have a Mr. Neil Bogatz who represents your organization on ANSI's board. So let you listen to this. Yes, Dave, he did say half a nut, fuck you. Maybe if he was soldering a joint or something in a house and a plumbing or something, but when he's the representative of ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, in 2019, okay, that to me, I've read all the bylaws and rules of ANSI about professionalism, and he broke every one of them. Dave, I'm going to put you down a second, and I'm going to continue on. I want to get through with this as swiftly as possible to give you information. But by the way, Dave, this video today is about ANSI's mission statement, half a nut, fuck you, by Russ Chaney, chairman, silenced by corporation member IAPMO CEO, Dave Viola. We'll see if you open up your mouth, Dave. I hope you do. Anyway, in 2013, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow citizens, my business associates, and my customers, I was approved, which we didn't need at all. I was approved by a Region 3 director of the ASQ, the American Society for Quality, who owned ANAB, the American National Accreditation Board, 50%. So he said they had no problem with what we're doing, accredited, unaccredited, and we're accredited, and that we support you, sir. So that was 50% support of ANAB. ASQ, 50%, which owned ANAB. ANSI owned at the same time as ANSI-ASQ. They owned ANAB 50-50. American National Standards Institute and the American Society for Quality. Randy Doty, who at the time was the technical advisor of ANAB. He was also the treasurer and a principal on the IF tax report, asked us to join. It's all voluntary, whether it's ANAB or IF. So this was important to us, but not as important as the rest of the letter, which he wrote this. And this is the other 50% approval. He said, but we recognize and accept that there are conformity assessment bodies and accreditation bodies, such as your body and your accreditation body, that are not part of the IF and ILAC structure. Well, we went on further, okay? Now, that's a 50% approval by ASQ in 2013. And then the other 50% was by Randy in 2016. You heard it yourself. That's no BS, okay? There's no issue. But we looked further into ANAB's shorts and ANSI shorts and ASQ shorts, and we discovered that ANSI-ANAB is an underwriter for the International Accreditation Forum Incorporated in Delaware, and also the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, ILAC. For those of people who are not privy to legalese, this is what an underwriter is. I'm going to hold it there. I'm not going to read you these things. I want you to read it. Take your time, read it. We want to get through this video, though, so that you can watch the whole thing. And we're going to continue on. ANSI is a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental entity that has both corporations and federal agencies on board. It's been around for almost 104 years. Here we go, business owners. This is easy. You have Randy Doherty in 2015. He was the vice president of ANAB, chairman of the IAF, and he was also on the IAF tax report as the principal. He handed over leadership to Zhao Jinwu, a communist Chinese national, who's been involved with our quality since 1994. He was also the chief executive at the time of the China National Accreditation Services, which certified the laboratory suspect of release of the COVID virus in 2017. He was also, there's a picture of him, handing over an ISO 17025 certification for laboratory accreditation in Wuhan. He is also mandated by his country of origin, Communist China, to take companies' data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article number 7. You have ANSI taking over complete control over ANAB in 2018, and here you have a sample of both federal agencies and corporations. For those of you who are veterans who are ANAB accredited, you should be ashamed of yourself. For those of you who are not veterans and who say that they're very proud of our country, you too should be ashamed of yourself, because here is a list of 10 registrars accredited by ANAB to issue ANAB accredited certificates in Communist China. What does it tell you? Cybersecurity. We delved into that, especially before the whole COVID thing broke out. We delved into the issues about laboratory accreditation because there were several of my customers who wanted to get ISO 17025, which we have issued, many of them, and we watch over, we study the standards, and we make sure that those laboratories are working within the confines that one laboratory is, doing the same from apples to apples rather than apples and oranges. That's the best way to describe it. We investigated ISO 17025, and there was a deposition by a Pamela Sale. She is the vice president of accreditation of ANAB, and she said under deposition, which was unbelievable, she said that I know it is going to be shocking, sound shocking when I say it, Sale said, at the meeting, but there were no nonconformancies with our auditing process. She went on to clarify that the auditing process could be improved. Well, could it be good or couldn't it be good? It looks like it needs to be improved. Nice. But the confidence is really flailing out here when she says, one of the issues is that there is no commonly agreed upon set of standards that forensic laboratories around the country have to follow. Instead, there are informal guidelines that labs can choose to follow or not. So we looked further, Dave, by the way. We looked further at this mess, okay? And we saw this title to this article, where it says a majority of failures happen in accredited laboratories. To make matters worse, Dave, we got some more information, and there you go. Some more information on laboratory failure. We then looked at A2LA because A2LA is the accreditation body. Let me bring you back here, Dave. A2LA is the accreditation body, as you must well be aware of, that does a lot of the accreditations for forensic laboratories, especially on the government side and sheriff side and all this. And you have A2LA sitting on ANSI's board right over by these laboratories, right over by the accreditation bodies that are accredited, that issue certificates. Even ANAB issues a laboratory accreditation. Amazing. Amazing. So we did a video, Dave, and we put this on the video saying that A2LA and ANSI and A2LA are both the same in the sense that A2LA sits on their board. You also have the factor that A2LA sat on the IF, and the China Communist National Zhao Jinwu, who was the IF chairman in 2015 to 2021, just a mere year ago. So the damage over 6 years has been very badly done and very badly produced in the fact that you have the federal agencies on ANSI who all have had their data taken. We have this data, Dave. Get in touch with me, 203-556-1493, and I will send it to you gladly. We had an Ashley Morton. She was kind of camera shy, so this is what we came up with. And this is what she said underneath my video. She said, A2LA does not sit on ANSI, and they are both American accreditation bodies in equal standing. Well, guess what? I'll tell you what happened, Dave. I did the video again. I showed her this mess that A2LA did sit on ANSI. They sat by the sheriff's departments and all the rest of those forensic labs that have the variances, as Pamela Sale quoted. And we got a call. And the call was from your ex-colleague, Russ Chaney. And this is what he said. As the chairman, by the way, as the chairman, here it is, the actual chairman, and you see ANSI's mission statement is half a nut fuck you per Russ Chaney, 2019. So I'm going to play this for you, Dave, and you tell me what happens. Here. Dave, take a listen.
Chaney, please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as possible. Record you.
Yes, Dave, he did say half a nut fuck you. Okay, and here it is. And he was the chairman at the time. Definitely breaking all the rules and regulations when it calls for code of conduct. Dave, all I wanted, Dave, for God's sake, man, all I wanted was an apology. That's all I wanted. Do you know when I knew some nefarious issues were taking place at ANSI? I'll tell you when. And here it is. When I sent a letter to Joe Bathia, the CEO, concerning my apology that I would like, he sent that off to Jameson Carroll of Carroll and Weiss in Atlanta, Georgia. I think he's a dog catcher down there, not an attorney. I think he imposters an attorney, if I do say so myself, humbly. The American Bar Association and ANSI work harmoniously together, writing standards and getting together. But this is what Daryl Jameson Carroll said about that voicemail of half a nut, fuck you. He said, after analysis, we were unable to identify any harassing or objectionable content in the brief audio file provided. We continued on, Dave, and we understand now that I would imagine that the board, which is made up of federal agencies and corporations, the government itself, and membership approval of both of the corporations and federal agencies, they approve and condone half a nut fuck you. What I like to know, Dave, does your organization, after having Russ Chaney as their CEO, is that their mantra throughout the ranks and file of the IAPMO? Half a nut fuck you. So I'm going to tell you this, Dave. I went to New York and I found there were no signs outside the building over in New York that houses ANSI. I then went down to picket the main characters down in Washington, D.C. on L Street, 1899 L Street, as a matter of fact, Northwest Washington. There were no signage there. It's an $84 million company that could probably buy the building they were in, but they didn't put a sign up. What does that tell you right off the bat? So, Dave, what we have done is we made their sign. ANSI says, half a nut, fuck you. And they do say that. Via Russ Chaney, there is no one on earth, unless the American Bar Association and ANSI are so enveloped together that they'd say, you're wrong, Guberman. No, I'm right. And Dave, we're going to bring this to a close because these videos, I can't help it. It gets to be 10, 12 minutes long, but you're going to watch every minute of it because it concerns you. It concerns the gentleman that represents you on ANSI's board. So is that what you want? Are you going to laugh at this? Say, well, this is no laughing matter. This is what ANSI is. And what this says is the IAPMO mission statement is what ANSI says via Russ Chaney. It is half a nut, fuck you. That must mean your quality is in the trash. 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS at yahoo.com. And the reason why we do this, Dave, is because we believed when we applied to ANSI that they were going to be impartial. oversight, and they don't have impartiality. There's a lot of people making a lot of money doing a lot less, and it's horrendous. And I felt that my nomination, I would have been able to help then cure Russ Chaney's mission statement for ANSI. Half a nut, fuck you. I thank you.